bad guy in the story. I'm the bad guy.
These women wanted their voice heard.
We are learning more about sexual misconduct and spiritual manipulation claims against Tim Ballard. We'll show you what we know so far from an attorney representing several women.
It was a mild and sunny day here across Utah, but the wind picks up ahead of some big changes this weekend when we could see rain and snow.
Massive financial turmoil. That's how the Utah Pride Center described its state of affairs. Tonight, the center's plan to move forward.
Salt Lake City may be one step closer to getting a Major League Baseball team.
We're growing. Why can't our sports grow with us?
The study being done right now that could convince the MLB.
A full circle moment for this Intermountain interpreter, how he's able to give back to the place that saved his family.
The behavior of Tim Ballard crossed the line, and these women cannot remain silent. They felt it was very important that the public know the truth. So they've asked me to make this statement today.
An attorney representing several women says Tim Ballard, the former CEO of Operation Underground Railroad, spiritually manipulated, groomed, and sexually harassed his own colleagues.
It is just the latest step in a Fox 13 News investigation that's been going on for years now. Let's take a look at how we got to this point. Fox 13 News has been following this case since October of 2020, when we were first to report that Operation Underground Railroad was under investigation by the FBI and the Davis County Attorney's Office.
Tim Ballard separated earlier this year from the nonprofit he founded. Then earlier this month came allegations of sexual harassment against Ballard. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints also gave a rare statement calling Tim Ballard's activities, quote, morally unacceptable, without going into specifics.
Then last week, Utah Governor Spencer Cox said the allegations against Ballard are, quote, disturbing if true. Today, we heard for the first time from the attorney representing alleged victims of Tim Ballard.
Fox 13 News investigative reporter Adam Herbetz was at this morning's news conference on the steps of the state capitol.
We believe you, and we are standing by your side as you embark on your own healing journey.
Suzette Rasmussen is an attorney, but today she is not talking about lawsuits or court cases. She's simply talking.
I've been asked to read a statement on their behalf.
Representing women who used to work for Operation Underground Railroad, who were passionate about the fight against human trafficking, and ended up reporting their CEO, Tim Ballard, for sexual misconduct.
I'm the bad guy in the story. I'm the bad guy.
Ballard says the allegations are not true.
These women wanted their voice heard, and they wanted to affirm the truth of these allegations.
Most questions she would not answer. She wouldn't say how many clients she represents, their ages, their genders, where they're from, or exactly what happened in each case.
I can't comment specifically, but I will say that it's several women.
She wouldn't say what the next steps are, legal or otherwise. She wouldn't say whether they went to police or if they're happy with the action taken by OUR.
We will reveal our stories in our own time and in our own way and on our own terms. But for now, we choose to remain anonymous. I can't state what may or may not happen with litigation, with regard to litigation at this time.
The nonprofit says Mr. Ballard's alleged misconduct does not represent OUR's values or others within the organization. OUR is dedicated to combating sexual abuse and stands with anyone who has been victimized. Vice was the first to publish at least 7 women reported sexual misconduct at the hands of Ballard.
Does that number seem high to you? Does it seem low to you? Or does that seem just right?
Well, that number is a variable, obviously, but I would say that it's pretty close to accurate.
Earlier today, we uploaded 75 pages of documents released by the Utah Attorney General's office detailing a different criminal investigation. Former OUR employees, who by the way did use their names, saying Tim Ballard lied to investors and lost the trust of law enforcement. If you'd like to read those documents, they are on the front page of our website, fox13now.com. Reporting on the Hill, Adam Herbetz, Fox 13 News, Utah.
We will continue to follow this story on Tim Ballard and the accusations against him here on air and always online at fox13now.com.
The 193rd Semi-Annual General Conference of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is this weekend in Salt Lake City, but neither Church President Russell M. Nelson nor Elder Jeffrey R. Holland of the Quorum of the 12 will be there. The church said today President Nelson injured his lower back in a fall 3 weeks ago. He is still unable to sit for long periods of time. And Elder Holland has been dealing with health challenges for several months. He missed the last general conference in April and continues to recover at home.
The family of the 14-year-old girl hit by an SUV in Heber City yesterday is now asking for some help. A verified GoFundMe page and posts to social media say Ava Saunders was critically hurt in the crash. Heber City police say it happened at 790 South Main Street near Wasatch High School and not far from where another teen was hit by a utility truck back on September 14th. Now, the driver did stay on scene. Ava was taken to the Heber Valley Hospital, then flown to a hospital in Salt Lake. Her family says she has had 2 brain surgeries in just the past 24 hours. If you would like to help, if you can, we do have a link to Ava's GoFundMe on our website. You can find it at fox13now.com. Now, the Wasatch County School District says Ava was hit during her lunch break. The previous crash by the high school was also right around the same time of day. So we want to know tonight, do you think students should be allowed to leave campus during breaks at school? Scan that QR code on your screen right now. You can share your opinion by voting in our non-scientific poll at fox13now.com/voice.
Weber High School Principal Chris Ernest is retiring in the middle of an investigation into complaints against her. Ernest was put on paid administrative leave in mid-August over accusations she mishandled athletic recruiting violations. The Weber School District says it was near the end of its investigation when Ernest notified them she would retire effective immediately. Because of that, there is, quote, nothing further for the district to do, says the statement. They say they will now focus on filling the vacancy.
After temporarily shutting down and admitting massive financial turmoil, the Utah Pride Center now says it will reopen in October. Fox 13 News reporter Jenna Breeze spoke with community members about the changes that they would like to see at the center.
They've been a really important part of my life, and I want it to continue on.
Sky Young started going to the Utah Pride Center 10 years ago when she first came out.
My parents weren't the most accepting, so I would kind of go up there trying to seek support, kind of make a plan for the future and find people who were like me.
But she says over the years, they haven't been using all their funding to serve queer people in Utah.
I feel like they haven't really expanded their resources a lot, which has been kind of a problem for me because being down in Utah County, there's not really a lot of access to queer things down here.
In a statement posted to its social media pages Wednesday, the Utah Pride Center says they laid off a portion of their staff, writing, quote, "In the last year, Utah Pride Center has been misaligned with our community-centric mission and lacking in focus and accountability. And our new leadership pledges to be open, honest, and accountable to our community, stakeholders, and donors in ways that have been lacking for far too long." They also admitted that this year's Pride Festival did not reflect what the queer community wanted or expected.
When you go to a festival, you want to see small businesses and artists and local makers. You don't want to go to see Walmart and Verizon and the FBI.
Julia Gates says last year she paid $400 for her Crystal Shops booth.
When it came time to sign up for this year's, it was $1,500 for the exact same booth in the exact same spot. I ended up just using the last of my college money that I had put away. As a small business owner, I don't just have $1,500 lying around.
Going forward, business owners and people who need the life-saving resources hope the Utah Pride Center will be transparent about how it's spending money.
I kind of said, hey, I'd love for you guys to put up a financial, all your financial statements, do a full financial audit, post all of your information transparently on your website.
The Utah Pride Center says it will unveil a new strategic plan and vision in November. In Salt Lake City, Jenna Bree, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Another beautiful day here in Utah. How long is this going to last?
That's a good question. I know just the gal.
Who might that be, Allison?
Tomorrow's actually going to be a few degrees warmer and also a little windier as we get closer to a stronger storm that moves in Saturday night. Today, though, we made it to 76. An average high this time of year is 75. So today was our first near average day in quite a while. We've either been above average or well below average over the last week. Temps right now, 64 in Salt Lake, 65 for Ogden, 64 for Provo and Ogden right now, 56 for Logan, 76 currently in St. George under mostly clear sky. Now, we did have some red flag warnings today in eastern Utah, Book Cliffs down towards Moab, over towards Grand Junction. Again, tomorrow we'll have some fire concerns in eastern Utah. But for Salt Lake City, the rest of tonight, we will cool into the mid-50s as you wake up on a Friday morning. But I think you're really going to like the weather tomorrow on a Friday here across the state. Overnight temperatures for Salt Lake mid-50s, Ogden near 50, Provo close to 50 degrees tomorrow morning. More on our incoming storm this weekend coming up.
We're very optimistic about our ability to keep the parks open. Not so optimistic about the federal government staying open.
The clock continues to tick on a government shutdown. Today's message from Governor Cox about his priorities to ensure funding for federal programs Utahns rely on.
Plus, he's giving back and helping families during some of the most important moments of their lives. It's a Positively Utah story you don't want to miss.
And later in sports, a look ahead to a loaded Friday night where both the Cougars and the Utes are in play, including a big one for BYU at home.
It is looking even more likely that a government shutdown will happen as the clock ticks down to the 11:59 p.m. Saturday deadline.
Governor Spencer Cox says the state of Utah will keep a needed welfare benefits program going during the federal government shutdown.
The state will continue to offer women, infants, and children benefits through October. About 44,000 Utah mothers and children are affected. The Faith and Advocacy Coalition to End Hunger and Homelessness says it is grateful because these people need to be able to access healthy foods.
The governor also reaffirmed his commitment to fund Utah's 5 national parks during a shutdown, but the Department of Interior has to sign off on that. It's releasing information on its plans tomorrow morning. Tune in to Fox 13 News Good Day Utah for those details.
Hill Air Force Base sent Fox 13 News a statement saying their operation will be significantly impacted should the government shut down. Now, despite that, they say, quote, "We will continue select operations critical to our airmen's safety, protection of property, ongoing operations, and national defense. All airmen, whether working or furloughed, will receive paychecks for the period of the shutdown after the Department of Defense receives its funding." Now to a story that is Positively Utah. It's about a full circle moment for one interpreter at Intermountain Hospital who's playing a key role in helping families get the care they need.
Fox 13 News reporter Maithili Gubi introduces us to Martin Fernandez.
Flipping through pages that hold special moments.
Lots of memories. I cannot believe it was 27 years ago.
This is Martin Fernandez.
Our story began in July 1995. Gabriela and I got married in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Helping change lives.
He's here helping do what we couldn't do for him.
He's a medical interpreter for Intermountain Health, which they didn't have when his baby came into this world.
I'm working for the same hospital that saved my son's life 27 years ago.
27 years ago, Martin's son, Tomas, was airlifted from Delta to Utah Valley Hospital in Provo, and he was in the NICU.
Though our son was with the ventilator, not being able to eat by himself, they made us feel sure, secure here.
For Martin and Gabriela,
their first ultrasound to find out she was pregnant.
Having a baby in the NICU.
Doctors and nurses sent us Polaroids photographs every other day so we can find out the progress.
Was a scary experience.
Emotions were kind of tough. I mean, we were happy at the same time, but extremely worried for our son's life.
Here's how Martin's family is doing now, healthy and happy. 27 years later, Martin
You do what you like, but you help people at the same time.
is helping other families communicate with doctors to put them at ease.
People are hesitant to see a doctor because they think they won't be able to communicate their problems. There are some cultural barriers as well, but mostly the language.
And he gets to work alongside NICU nurses like Wendy Robinson, who took care of his son 27 years ago.
I can remember having just a heavy heart and wanting to share things and talking in English and trying to motion and connect and not being able to do that well. And so all those little things we can do now. It's wonderful.
It's a very rewarding profession.
Martin tells me that he is so thankful for the opportunity to give back to the place that saved his family. He hopes to continue helping families. That way everyone gets the care that they need. At Utah Valley Hospital, I am Maitili Gubi, Fox 13 News, Utah.
We had temperatures a little bit cooler today compared to yesterday. We were actually really close to normal for this time of year. 64 degrees here in Salt Lake as we're getting ready for bed on this Thursday evening. As you wake up on Friday morning, you'll have a cool start, but tomorrow afternoon is going to be back above average, and we'll be above average on Saturday also because we're going to see some wind picking up out of the south ahead of our next storm that moves in. So temps right now 60s as you're getting ready for bed for the most part, already into the 50s for Evanston and for the Cache Valley, 40s for Bryce Canyon right now. For the Wasatch Front tomorrow morning, mostly clear, mid 50s. And then for your Friday evening drive, sunny and 80. I think you're going to be enjoying that, although it will be a little breezy tomorrow if you're headed to the BYU football game. Across the state right now, mostly clear sky, pretty calm. We're looking at mostly clear conditions for this evening, clear and cool for tomorrow morning. And then Friday, warm with a breeze, 80 with our wind about 10 to 20 plus miles per hour here across Utah, and some moderate air quality. Overnight temps mainly about 45 to 55 degrees as you wake up tomorrow morning. So we'll go ahead and pause this for you. Friday at 6 a.m. We'll have temperatures close to 40 for Park City, Evanston, and Logan, mid 40s to upper 40s for Vernal and Price and Richfield. Milford and Delta tomorrow morning, upper 40s, and then for Ely and Elko, you likely drop into the 30s for tomorrow morning. Then tomorrow we see our wind ramping up, especially into southwest Utah. We're going to see warm and breezy conditions Friday afternoon and Saturday especially. So Provo, 5 o'clock tomorrow, it'll be about 80 degrees at kickoff for the football game, and you're going to end up with some wind about 15 to 20 miles per hour as that game starts. Wasatch Front tomorrow for Salt Lake City. We're going to be low 70s at lunchtime into the low 80s at 4 o'clock tomorrow. So it will be a warm day after a cool start for the St. George area. You'll also have a cool start, likely around 60 degrees as you get up, and then close to 90 for a high tomorrow. So looking at Friday afternoon, Friday 3 o'clock, kids are getting out of school. We've got temps around 75 to 85 degrees here across the state. And then we're going to see our temperatures cooling down a lot second half of the weekend. So first half of the weekend will be warm. And then we're going to keep you pretty much dry the next couple of days, getting through Friday at 5 p.m. Then Saturday night is when we're going to start seeing some changes here across the region. So we get into Saturday, windy, additional clouds. Precipitation starts to move in Saturday evening. That becomes much more widespread heading into Sunday. For the St. George area, you're close to 90 tomorrow, 80 on Saturday, 70 on Sunday. Best chance for rain will be Saturday night in St. George. For Salt Lake, we're near 80 degrees Friday, Saturday. More clouds first half of the weekend. And then we see our better rain chances and much cooler temperatures Sunday, Monday. More on our storm chances and snow levels coming up. We'll be right back.
The Writers Guild of America ended its strike last night, and writers will go back to work after getting what they asked for.
But the Screen Actors Guild is still on strike. Tonight, Utah SAG reps and actors joined the SAG community at Washington Square to show support and solidarity for their cause.
I'm really happy to help the Utah actors get a chance to show solidarity and do, a fun photo op. We've got our SAG reps out here, and a lot of Utah actors came and filmmakers came to support.
The group wore SAG-AFTRA on strike t-shirts in their photo.
The Right to Read is a powerful documentary by Utah filmmaker Jenny McKenzie. There was a public screening this evening at Utah State University. The documentary follows an NAACP activist, a teacher, and 2 American families who all have the same goal: to provide our youngest generation with the most foundational indicator of lifelong success. It's the ability to read.
2/3 of the children in our country are not reading at a proficient level. And that is a 3-alarm fire, because it means we have an illiterate society.
McKenzie there says that not being able to read costs individuals on many levels, including economically. People who cannot read struggle with everything from filling out health care and job applications to not being able to vote.
The 1969 riots at the Stonewall Inn in New York City's Greenwich Village were a milestone in what was then called the gay rights movement. Tonight, the Salt Lake City chapter of a national group named after the iconic bar held its inaugural Stonewall Ball at Red Butte Gardens. Stonewall Sports is an LGBTQ+ sports league. Its mission is to promote equality, build community engagement, and empower individuals on and off the field.
Major League Baseball in Salt Lake City. That goal may be one step closer tonight.
What the MLB asked to be done and why it's good news for baseball fans.
Coming up, Davis School District parents are fighting for their son's right to free, appropriate public education. What they say the district did wrong and what the state decided.
As a way to help Utah's water supply in the Great Salt Lake, the state of Utah is going big on cloud seeding.
And RSL keeps one of their household names locked up for several more years.
Salt Lake City continues to vie for a Major League Baseball team, and leaders in the sports field say we now may be one step closer to actually securing a spot in the big leagues.
Wouldn't that be something? Fox 13 News reporter Lucy Nelson was at the Delta Center today for an announcement from key players involved in the process.
Why wouldn't we want an MLB baseball team?
A question many Salt Lakers are asking when it comes to America's favorite pastime.
We have what, one pro team? Yeah. We're growing. Why can't our sports grow with us?
Just a fun thing to do in an afternoon, even if you don't watch the whole game. I can go to them, for sure.
The possibility of securing an MLB team came to light in April when a group headed by the Miller family was created called Big League Utah. The family, longtime owners of the Jazz, vowing to do what they can to bring a field of dreams to the Beehive State.
A summer night in Salt Lake, uniting our community, bringing people together.
Thursday, CEO of the Larry H. Miller Company, Steve Starks, sat next to Salt Lake City's Mayor Aaron Mendenhall at the Delta Center with an announcement that could make Salt Lake one step closer to hitting a home run in the major leagues.
We have an economic feasibility study being done right now.
Starks says the study was at the request of Major League Baseball, a great sign, he says, because when the MLB formally votes for expansion of the league, Salt Lake is ready to give them shining results.
We know the results already. It's incredibly favorable. And what it demonstrates is robust economy, diverse economy, the highest median income of any potential expansion market, and the 6th highest in all of baseball right now.
In that study was a survey conducted by a third-party company who said the results were outstandingly in favor of a team coming to Utah.
We had over 15,000 respondents to that, including the business community. They said that of all of the market studies they've ever done, they've never seen a response from a market like that in baseball.
Mayor Mendenhall commenting on the accessibility of the sport for Utah families and what a major league team would bring to the city.
To zoom in on this city, we've got more kids per capita in the neighborhood of the Power District. We have families, intergenerational families who've helped build that community and for whom baseball has been this continuous thread through generations.
Starks says they will get the full results of the study on Friday. In Salt Lake City, Lucy Nelson, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Federal investigators have cracked down on 2 Chick-fil-A franchises in St. George. The restaurants received stiff fines for violating child labor provisions. Investigators found 14 and 15-year-olds worked too many hours a day and were not paid overtime when they worked more than 40 hours a week. The feds assessed $187,467 in civil penalties and recovered nearly $47,000 in back pay.
You could one day be able to travel internationally from the Provo airport. The airport announced today it has launched a task force to attract a major carrier and provide international flights. The task force includes more than 100 public and private companies. They're requesting a $1 million grant from the U.S. Department of Transportation to support air service development. The Provo airport has grown significantly already, with a new terminal opening just last year and 2 airlines making PVU their base of operation. Ask any teacher you know and they'll tell you, of course, every student is different, but some are more unique than others.
That's why individualized educational plans, or IEPs, exist. The purpose of an IEP is to ensure that children with identified disabilities attending public schools receive specialized instructional support and services.
But what are parents to do if their schools don't follow through with a developed IEP? Fox 13 News reporter Emily Tenser introduces us to a family who experienced just that.
For 8 months, a North Davis junior hire didn't go back to school.
Someone needs to be held reliable on this. They need to be accountable of what their actions are.
Nicholas and Barbara Mulder's 14-year-old has multiple mental and behavioral disorders, including disruptive mood dysregulation disorder. They say he has no history of violence. In November of last year, he told a trusted counselor that, quote, some days he feels like he would like to just go kill a lot of people and then kill himself.
There was no threat to any student. There was no actual weapon involved in the talking. In fact, the student hadn't really made a threat. It was, I feel frustrated enough that I want to hurt, I feel like I want to hurt people when I get this angry.
The Davis School District followed protocol and assessed the threat.
The incident is brought to a district committee that's set up with administrators, student family services personnel, therapists, counselors, and they make a determination in terms of how to address the safe school violation.
They determined he go to Renaissance Academy. It's where Davis school students go if they've committed a safe school violation. His parents were against this decision, saying it would only hurt his IEP and mental health. They asked to meet with the district, but that never happened.
They didn't want to hear our side. They didn't want to talk to us. They immediately put a label on our son.
A due process hearing took place this summer, and the hearing officer decided the district violated the student's right to free, appropriate public education by ordering he go to Renaissance Academy and by refusing to meet with his parents. Assistant Superintendent John Zerbakin says the district will continue working on balancing the rights of the child and the rights of school safety.
One takeaway that we take from this is our responsibility to provide for access to the parents to raise those questions.
The Mulders say they want to continue to advocate for other families with children with disabilities to make sure they're heard and understood.
I wanted to be one of the people that could fight and have a voice for those parents that can't or don't know how to fight.
In Davis County, Emily Tenser, Fox 13 News, Utah.
A major topic around the nation and here in Utah right now is childcare. As we first reported yesterday, more than 70,000 child care programs nationwide are projected to close, and Utah is one of the top 5 states listed for potential shutdowns. That's according to an analysis by the Century Foundation. This evening, there was a virtual town hall where Utahns could ask their legislators about this critical issue.
How do I stay in business with the high cost of wages? And how do we keep serving our families that cannot pay for their copays? And it's a hard time for them.
There's so many layers to it. There's not one answer or one solution that will solve it all. But also it's kind of a constantly evolving issues.
This event was hosted by the Blue Collar Caucus, Voices for Utah Children, and the Care for Kids Network. They mentioned again the stroller rally at the state capitol taking place on October 11th, which is the legislative interim day.
The head of the Utah Department of Health and Human Services appeared before a congressional subcommittee today in Washington. Executive Director Tracy Gruber talked about Utah's child welfare system. She was asked about Utah's Title 4B plan, the Child and Family Service Rule. Gruber says each state needs to find the policymakers and determine the outcomes that will meet the needs of the community.
In terms of Title 4B funding, I think an elimination of the set-asides would be one thing that we would really recommend. All of our states are not the same. All of our communities are not the same. And that would be one place where we would recommend starting.
The topic of today's panel discussion was falling through the cracks, modernizing child welfare to protect America's most vulnerable children.
It almost brings me to tears. I'm so happy.
Well, coming up, connecting communities along the Wasatch Front. We'll show you the new trail that's opened in West Valley City. Perfect day to go walking on a trail, Allison.
Yes, near perfectly average temperatures today. We made it to 76 degrees. The normal high this time of year is 75. But we are warming up tomorrow ahead of some really big changes this weekend when the weather could impact your weekend plans.
This morning, Salt Lake County Mayor Jenny Wilson helped cut the ribbon to mark the completion and opening of the final section of Parley's Trail. It runs from 900 West to the Jordan River Parkway in West Valley City. That new section includes 2 bridges, one of which you're going over right now, over the Jordan River, and a bridge across 900 West. The 9-mile trail connects a variety of neighborhoods in Salt Lake City, Mill Creek, South Salt Lake, and West Valley City.
The river is so important to the valley. The mountains are our backyard. It's our playground. And to get from one destination to the next is so important. So I think this is really going to inspire other communities, I hope, to follow suit and do the same thing.
Parley's Trail is the first east-west trail linking the Bonneville Shortline Trail on the east to the Jordan River Parkway on the west.
Do you like Pokemon?
Pokemon.
You can just ask her. Do you like sharks? Is that your favorite animal?
Fox 13 News anchor John Franke there, also reporter Maithili Gooby, were among several members of our Fox 13 News team volunteering at a book fair at Salt Lake City's Guadalupe Elementary School today. This was all possible thanks to you and our If You Give a Child a Book campaign. Between today and tomorrow, 375 students will get 3 free books each, with the promise of opening their minds to a new literary adventure.
They're even more excited when I tell them that they get to take them home and keep them. I have to remind them that they don't bring them back because we prepared them to bring library books back. So when they say, well, I get to take it home, I don't have to bring it back, it's mine. Yeah, it's yours, so you get to keep it.
You get to keep it and use it, read it. Since this program began 3 years ago, we've distributed more than 20,000 books. So special
wonderful.
Gift to Utah children today.
Yeah.
And thanks, by the way, if you helped make this happen by
Yeah.
donating.
Yeah.
The goal of the If You Give a Child a Book campaign is to ensure that every partner Title I school receives 10 books per student each year. And if you'd like to donate, there's still time. Text Fox 13 Reads to 50155 or visit fox13now.com/giveabook.
We're going to have cloud seeding station up and down the entire, not just the Wasatch, but the entire range of the Rockies through the state of Utah.
Coming up, Utah is making multi-million-dollar investments in new technologies to beef up storms from Mother Nature and boost water supplies. We'll explain how it works.
And later in sports, we're checking in with both the Utes and the Cougs 24 hours out from a loaded Friday full of college football. Plus, top 10 BYU soccer and volleyball in play tonight. And the longest tenured player with RSL signed to another contract extension. Back in a bit.
Today, the Utah Department of Natural Resources hosted a symposium about cloud seeding at Snowbird.
Fox 13 News political reporter Ben Winslow takes a closer look at how this move could help with water woes and the Great Salt Lake.
This burner pumps silver iodide into the air to squeeze a little more moisture out of a storm. But it's this new technology that state officials are excited about.
We can operate cloud seeding equipment from anywhere in the United States, placed anywhere in the United States. We operate based off of cellular bands or, if necessary, satellite link.
These are remote-controlled cloud seeders, allowing them to be placed at higher elevations.
We can place these where they're actually in the cloud.
Utah political leaders are making a big investment in cloud seeding. Where the state originally spent only $200,000 a year on it, the legislature has now invested $12 million to increase the number of cloud seeders statewide by hundreds. The state has plans to roll them out all over Utah to benefit communities and use airplanes too.
This is one of the ways that we're looking and taking care of Great Salt Lake.
Cloud seeding has been around since the 1940s, but Utah and surrounding states are investing in it now to help with water supply demands.
One of the things that's very exciting about it now is that the science is advancing. We have new tools to detect and measure the impacts of cloud seeding, and then we have the drought and that need for water.
At a symposium, they heard from other states that are doing it, as well as scientists who answered questions like, does this steal water from other states?
The extra amount from cloud seeding is very small compared to the total amount of water and moisture that's moving over a given region. And so at this time, we don't estimate it to be a very big impact, and so it shouldn't be detectable anywhere downwind. But that's a really good question that as we go forward and expand cloud seeding programs, that I think warrants further study, just because it is such a common and understandable concern.
It's also not considered harmful to public health or the environment.
Silver iodide, which is used in the process, I'm learning that as far as impacts to the environment, they're fairly insignificant. And that was something that I was really concerned about.
Utah's Department of Natural Resources is looking to areas around the Great Salt Lake, but the agency's director cautions this will not solve all of Utah's water needs.
There's no silver bullet to Utah's water problems. We need to do conservation, we need to do investment in infrastructure, we need to do cloud seeding.
But some political leaders say they're open to ideas to help find water.
Oh, we're always short of water out there. I'm a farmer besides a county commissioner, but we're always in need of water. Great program, it looks like to me.
Now, if those permits and clearances are granted, these remote-controlled cloud seeders could be rolled out by November. At Snowbird, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.
But for some time now, we've been hearing that the future of the Great Salt Lake is in peril. Tonight, the League of Women Voters of Utah hosted the first of 2 webinars on the lake. Great Salt Lake Commissioner Brian Steed says the lake's brine shrimp and brine flies are in trouble. So are the 13 million birds that eat them every year.
All those black marks, that's all brine flies. And this is our state bird, the California seagull, out dining on those brine flies. Last year, as salinity reached that really high level on the South Arm, we really did have a huge problem to where those brine those brine flies virtually disappeared.
Gosh, isn't that so interesting?
Oh, yeah.
Everything plays upon each other. Yep. Steed also says salinity in the northern part of the lake was so high, the water was actually pink. You can see in this video. Only 2 bacteria survived, giving it that pinkish color. But fresh water added to the lake this year is now lowering the salinity. Steed is encouraged, however. He does say, though, it will take years and huge resources to save our Great Salt Lake.
I tell you what, Allison, our ecology is connected. Every bit of it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, we've got temperatures that are going to be warm the next 2 days, and then we are cooling down, and we'll see some increased chances for rain as we're wrapping up our water year. Our water year starts on October 1st, and luckily for us, we've been a little bit above average here in Salt Lake City for our water year the last year. And hopefully we'll have a repeat this upcoming season. As we look at our temperatures right now, we're in the 60s as we're getting ready for bed. For the most part, bigger changes will be arriving Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. And ahead of that, wind will start to pick up Friday and Saturday here across Utah. We'll have some passing clouds across the north into tomorrow morning. Friday, 7 a.m., 45 to 55 degrees for many of you for overnight temperatures. And then we will see those temps tomorrow rising into the low 80s. So a little bit warmer than today, 3, 4, 5 degrees. And then we'll be warm also on Saturday. Then we see our bigger changes arriving. So Saturday, 11 a.m., wind is picking up out of the south. That will allow us to warm up. And then we see this storm moving right into Utah, heading throughout the day on Sunday. We'll keep that lingering into Monday. And then maybe even into Tuesday, we could see some additional precipitation. So how does that break down as far as the daily chances go? For the Ogden area, isolated showers are possible on Saturday, but you are most widespread Saturday night. And then Sunday, scattered showers, Monday, scattered showers, Tuesday, scattered showers for Ogden. For Utah County, you've got a big football game on Friday night. You're going to be dry, but by Saturday, some isolated showers. Saturday night, widespread rain. Sunday, scattered showers. We'll keep that chance to be scattered on Monday, and then on Tuesday, widely scattered. For St. George, your best chance for rain will be on Saturday night. For some scattered showers, beyond that, some isolated chances Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Now we're looking at snow levels likely dropping to about 8,500 feet late in the day on Sunday into Monday. For St. George, near 90 tomorrow, 80 on Saturday, 70 on Sunday. For Salt Lake City, 81 for a high tomorrow, 80 on Saturday, 66 only on Sunday, 58 degrees for a high on Monday. So we are much cooler to start next week.
Jordan Love took the field on a Thursday night. Call it Packers-Lions with the NFC North lead on the line at Lambeau, where the road team does the leaping in the first half. Back shoulder catch, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 24 yards from Jared Goff to set the tone. David Montgomery through the rinse cycle. It was 14-3 after one quarter. Love then adding to the hurt for Green Bay. Pass tipped and picked by Detroit's Jerry Jacobs, leading to a second Montgomery touchdown. Love trying to rally the pack down 27-3 at the half. In with his feet, he threw for one as well, but couldn't catch the Lions. Give Montgomery the hat trick. 34-20 the final. Dissecting the start to Utah's season depends on how full or empty you can see the glass. The Utes are undefeated, yes, but how long they can keep winning shorthanded on offense and with an incredible defense remains to be seen, especially with so many offensive juggernauts upcoming on the schedule. The Big Three, SC, Oregon, and Washington are all down the road, but even Oregon State has proven to be a player in the pack this season. The 19th-ranked Beavers hosting Utah tomorrow night. Despite falling to Washington State last week, OSU would love nothing more than to get back in the swing of things with an upset over a top 10 foe.
They got a great fan base. Obviously, they kind of model their game after us. They're physical. They don't get a lot of 4 or 5 stars, but they have guys that are going to play hard, and we understand that. And especially the situation they're in, we know we're going to get their best shot. They can't afford another loss, so their backs are against the wall. So we understand we're going to get their everything that they have in that playbook.
As for BYU, they're a 1-point underdog tomorrow against Cincinnati. Basically a crapshoot game between Big 12 newbies. Set the stage for us, Keaton Slovis.
Just the excitement to go play under the lights and first conference game, Big 12 game at home. I just feel personally a lot of excitement from the fans, and I think even seeing the first 2 non-conference games at home be so packed out and such a great atmosphere, I think I'm excited to see what a conference environment will look like.
BYU soccer hosting Cincy a day early and catching 6th-ranked Blue off guard early. Corner kick 90 seconds in, pinballed around the danger zone before Ellie Flower taps it in. That 1-0 score would remain until the opening minute of half 2. Brecken Mazingo knocks home the PK there. BYU out shooting the Lady Cats 26-6. but their second goal never came off the crossbar as the game ends in a draw. While on the volleyball court, Big 12 supremacy on the line tonight in Austin. 9th-ranked Blue at 10th-ranked Texas. How about that smack? Kate Pryor, all part of a stretch of 12 straight Aaron Livingston service points by BYU. Mia Lee taking advantage of the overpass this time. All Cougs in set 1, 25-13. But then Texas woke up and went to work, including a blowout of their own in set 3. Molly Phillips pulls out the hammer, then Blue with a service error to end it in 4. These same two will go tomorrow night as well. Justin Glad has been with Real Salt Lake for a decade now, first signed at the age of 17. The homegrown talent is the longest tenured player on RSL's current roster and is now expected to be here in Utah for at least a few seasons more. RSL today signed Glad to a contract extension through 2027. His 5 goals this season are tied for the best by a defender in all of Major League Soccer. Meanwhile, RSL preps for a key trip to LAFC on Sunday, a place wins have been near impossible to reach. In fact, Claret and Cobalt are 1-11 all-time at FC in the regular season. But with 5 matches left, they need to keep winning to ensure themselves a playoff spot next month.
I think we're going to try some different things this week tactically to kind of shift the brain as opposed to, this is what we've been doing and these are the results we've been getting. And then it's going to come down to good communication and winning those duels. And I think that, for me, is what hopefully gives us an edge going to a place where we haven't had a lot of success in the past.
We'll be right back.
Well, thanks for being part of Fox 13 News at 9.
Stick around for QuickCast. It's up next.
Don't touch that dial.